It's Monday, January 5th, 2026. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Multiple systems, just as one leaves. You see it here winding up and moving out over toward the Atlantic region of Canada. We have this shot right here moving across the Great Lakes. We've had those advisories in place, and then we're going to see another system building as the week goes on. So a lot to cover. Right here, this is that energy that's working across the Great Lakes with some of that snow building back toward New England. So I want to cover some of the snow totals in this, and I want to show you that significant icing that will be a potential with really a couple systems that we're going to be seeing as we swing back toward the Great Lakes region. Now, advisories in place, a lot of this just for what's happening this morning with this area that is departing. But what we're going to see throughout the week, more advisories later in the week, if not some watches and warnings that will be put out for the potential of a mix, but of freezing rain. That's going to be a big potential as the week wears on with a couple different areas. So we're going to be watching in this sector as we work our way forward deeper into the week, anywhere from Minnesota, Wisconsin, back through Michigan, and right on the edge of Toronto. Toronto's going to be the spot to watch for really north for some of that frozen precipitation, south for some of the rain. But this sector, watching out for some of the icing as we go throughout different parts of the week ahead. I want to show you that new system in just a second. But what's going on today is we have this shot of moisture that's been moving across with some of the snow, and this will kind of build back. Let's go out in time. Let's go day by day here. And this is something Matt Makins and I will be keeping an eye on as we go forward. Now, as we work our way into tomorrow, you see it right here. You can see on the north side, I mentioned Toronto, north side, some of that snow, a little bit of that mix as well. You get over toward Albany, a bit of the mix, mainly south over toward Pennsylvania, West Virginia, generally a rain event with this. And then this area builds its back toward the Atlantic region of Canada. So by the time we get into Wednesday, generally rain, top side of it, back side of it, could be a little bit of snow over toward New Brunswick as we work our way into Wednesday. Then Thursday, this area will be departing Newfoundland. But here's that next system. Look at this winding up. This has the potential for some severe storms. Could see some isolated thunderstorms that could produce some very gusty winds out of this. North side of it, you see how sloppy this gets? And that's why I mentioned in through here, we need to watch out for some icing as well. Freezing rain, sleet. You see over toward Wisconsin on Friday, lifting to the north, Ontario, Quebec, watching out for some of that snow. But generally rain in through here, much in New England on Saturday, lifting up toward the Maritimes, the Atlantic region of Canada. Backside, we'll see some of that snow back through parts of the Great Lakes. But this will be another system to watch. But it is going to be a sloppy mess in here. And that's why I mentioned that potential of some of that icing. Now, to cover some of the snow totals, and then I want to show you that next system that is now pulling on shore over toward California. We'll cover that in just a second. These are 3-day snow totals. So this takes us through midweek. We'll cover that next system as we get deeper into the week. But looking at that shot of snow moving across, and generally this is some higher terrain stuff as we work our way back toward Vermont, parts of New Hampshire, where we could get some of those totals of about 2 to 4 inches of some of that additional snow. But you can see as we work our way south, you work your way toward New Haven, getting clipped by some of that rain, swinging back towards Scranton, mainly rain this go around. But we could see a few of these snow totals that give us a quick 1 to 2 inches of some rain in spots. But it's mainly north at Quebec. We could see some spots getting a couple inches of rain. Then you swing back toward Nova Scotia. We may get a quick little shot of some snow for parts of today, but generally the next couple of systems look to be mainly a rain event. And then we swing back toward Newfoundland. You can see as we're closer to the water, that's where we're really seeing nothing as far as snow goes. Maybe some snow on the backside of these areas, but overall watching out for some higher totals that will be to the north. Now here comes that next system. There's actually a couple of them. I want to show you that. There's one here coming out of, watching this coming out of Alaska. This one pulling on shore now. And then we're going to see a new area pulling on shore into Mexico. That's the one that's going to be working across that Matt and I will be tracking throughout the week. So you can see these two guys right here. This is significant rain, several inches of rain. I'll show you those totals in a second. This pulling on shore here, so we're kind of in between, but this will dive down. You see it right here, British Columbia, pulling back toward parts of the Pacific Northwest. You see this moisture, and it will spill over to the Rocky Mountains where we'll get some additional snow. But look what happens as the week goes on. This here is by Wednesday. Yes, a lot of energy in through here, but look at this over toward the Baja, sweeping through as we work our way back toward Arizona and New Mexico for some additional rain. So watching this, not losing sight of this, but watch how all of this builds as the week goes on. Even some of that snow, parts of Arizona and New Mexico, we will be tracking that as the week goes on. And then this energy lifts its way back through Kansas, over toward Missouri, Illinois. This is what could bring even some severe weather, some stronger storms of potential, maybe parts of Texas, a little bit more so as we work our way toward Arkansas and Oklahoma as we get deeper into the week. And then we'll keep an eye on this guy over here. This will be the next one that will be rolling in. The rain totals, a very big problem, especially for Northern California. Right in this sector here, we could have some spots of 4 to 6 inches of some rain, and you know how active it has been, right, with everything feeding in from the Pacific. Huge concern for flooding. Meanwhile, to give you a feel of some of the snow with all of this energy moving in, it just continues to stack up. Some of these totals even off my chart, but you see a lot of these yellows, of course, the ski resorts dealing with that. Over 10 inches of some additional rain, or 25 centimeters of some of that snow, I should say, not rain, snow, I should say. We work our way back through California, over toward the Sierra Nevada, and then this will spill across. And as I mentioned, as the week goes on with that other area, Matt and I will be tracking even some snow, parts of Arizona and New Mexico as that week goes on. But this energy kind of sweeps in, so we're going to see that snow depth increasing even as we swing back toward parts of Colorado as that week wears on. So busy pattern really as we go throughout the week. So a Great Lakes system kind of moving through now, but there's another one keeping a very close eye on that mixed precipitation, very sloppy with some of that freezing rain, some of that sleet. West Coast storms continue to move in that new system that'll build back some of that rain toward Mexico and then eventually sweeping across the U.S. as we go forward. And Matt and I through the weekend, we're looking long-term throughout the month, and it does look like a better possibility of more of a pattern that lends itself to, say, the potential of nor'easters as we get deeper into January. So watching some of those East Coast systems that will be possible later in January. We got you covered right here. Thank you for taking the time to subscribe, and I hope you have a really good start to the week.